What's up, y'all? I just want to make a quick video to talk about the end of the year. It's come to a close. I've seen a lot of great things. I've seen a lot of terrible things. I actually made a list of things that I've seen that have just been the whole year. It's just the whole year is made up of these types of things. So I figured, make it real simple. Go down the list. I've seen a lot of people succeed this year. I've seen a lot of people rise to the occasion. They were presented with a terrible situation and they adapted, they found a way through, and they rose up and grew. So to those people, hats off to you. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate your efforts because they have inspired me. I've seen a lot of people fail. I've seen people that were doing very well, they fell right down and they lost basically everything. They just didn't find a way, to continue to fight. Even when they did fight, the government, the laws, everything changing, COVID, it just kind of disrupted their efforts, deflated them, if they will, and they just didn't have enough support, especially from the community. Because if the community's hurting, then if you have a business, like a small business owner or something, then you're probably going to be affected by that because of the community hurting. They don't have the money to come and support you. So, I've seen a lot of that too. And, that's unfortunate. I wish I could help everybody, but I can't. A lot of us are just trying to help ourselves. So, God bless. Hopefully you find your way again. Some people just failed because they chose to. I can't really have pity for those ones. They were presented with options in front of them, and they chose not to do anything except lay around and, kind of piss away their lives, not worry about what they're eating, not worry if they're taking enough vitamins, not being active, using no gyms being open as an excuse. I mean, there's never an excuse. The only excuse, when it comes to you, do you really want to have an excuse? You know what I'm saying? Aren't you important? And so, yeah, I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of people ask for help. A lot of them never asked for help before. And to be honest with you, that's not a terrible thing. As a matter of fact, that's a sign of strength. When you ask for help, it's because you're smart enough to realize, hey, I'm in over my head. Okay? And if you really want to live, then you're gonna put your hand up and hopefully somebody's gonna grab your hand. I also believe that a lot of people asked for help and people didn't come through, and they expected them to because of all the help that they gave the whole time. But because they didn't get the same energy in return, they were disappointed and may never ask for help again. So to those people, I salute you, and things will get better. Just because they didn't help you when you reached out doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't want to. Maybe they couldn't. You know what I'm saying? There's two sides to this. So I just wanted to address that real quick. I've seen more abuse, whether it's domestic or child abuse, go up. And you add that to suicides and divorces, broken families and breakups, no makeups, barely any makeups. You know what I mean? People trying to gather a relationship at the same time as a pandemic, all these moving parts, all these expectations you can't possibly have on yourself, on others. It's just too much. And most people, they either ran out of gas or, they just couldn't find a way or that groove to be happy and keep what they had. But the abuse and the suicide and all that, and broken homes, that's a part of all the pain from this year. Obviously a lot more has happened too. I'm gonna go through this. A lot more anger, a lot more sadness mixed in. Might as well say depression. People not realizing their mistakes while they're making it. People giving their opinion more people arguing more. I'm also guilty of that. I'm able to address my flaws. If I've engaged in a stupid conversation for any more than 10 minutes, I would say 5 minutes actually, then it was wrong. I probably shouldn't have gave that motherfucker my time. I remember one night, it was during all this election stuff, I found myself in a 2-hour argument with some guy named Wayne Thompson from Illinois. The fuck was I thinking? And then I realized, we all out here doing this shit. Sometimes here and there, whatever. But as long as you're self-aware, you don't continue to do it. What I'd never liked, that I found more this year to be an issue than any other year, was the fact that people would come onto your page just to talk shit. They would never have anything nice to say. They would never have anything, of value to contribute to the conversation. It was always trying to downgrade you. So that's another thing that I noticed a lot more happen. A lot more people have exposed themselves this year. I made a video a long time ago asking people if they've been experiencing the same thing. People exposing themselves to be this person that you never saw before for years, and suddenly this is who they are right now in front of you, and you're like, damn, wow, we hung out and shit. It makes you think about your circle. It makes you think about the world. It makes you think about a lot of things. So that's another thing for sure. Like I said, arguing. People, look, this is a big one. People forget that opinions aren't pieces of clothes. When we wear our clothes, do our clothes make us? If I'm wearing a Nike shirt or this Puma hat, am I Puma? No, it doesn't make me. I make the clothes, as a matter of fact, just like everybody else out here. So what I mean by that is people wear their opinions like clothing. You got to remember, your opinion is not what you put on today. It's not something that opinions can change. People forget that a lot of people vote one side, for example, and then when they don't like the way things go on, they vote the other side. People go back and forth. It goes by what's good right now. And for some reason this year, everyone was like, nope, this is my side. I'm gonna die this side, and I'm gonna fight for it, and all this bullshit. And it just, a lot of ugly heads just popped out this year. And I've witnessed a lot of that happening. But if we were to really get into it, I've witnessed a lot of people face their demons, grab it by the throat, beat the shit out of it, and rise up. Okay? And I would have liked to have done a lot better than I've done. But I definitely did not let it break me. I made sure that people I cared about heard from me. I made sure that, the people that were relying on me, that I came through for them, that I'm there for them, and that I'm strong for them. And I've done everything to better myself in my lane so that if anybody else comes along and needs my energy, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be remembered by some, for something that happened in this 1 year, when I have so much more that I've brought to the table and that I will continue to bring to the table, to the world. Okay, so if anybody watching these videos knew how much I want every one of us to succeed, how much I wish people listened to what I actually had to say, how much I would back them and push them and make sure that they, get theirs. That's me. I want everyone, even if you're my enemy and you hate me right now watching this, I want you to succeed. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a bad bone in my body anymore. I used to carry anger all the time. But the past few years, things have changed. And I want to point out, I think people forget 2019 was a fuck of a year too. A lot of bullshit happened that year too. I've lost people that year too. We've lost people that year too. And then it trickled right into 2020, right? And I just want to say, this year is coming to an end. The pain and suffering will continue because that's reality. Okay? In reality, it's going to be a constant thing. So we have to prepare our minds to be stronger and prepare for what is ahead. I would suggest you just put yourself there before it happens and adjust now in your mind, so that when you get there, you've already done this mentally and you can actually adjust. Okay, it's going to be tough. You might have some moments where you go to the bathroom or come home from your shift, depending on who you are, and you break down. But you know what? That's exactly what you're allowed to do. And don't be ashamed of it, because you're still fucking strong. You have to let the steam out. You have to be a steam valve. So if you're going through all that shit and you're holding it together when you're needed, then when you're not needed and you're home and you're safe, you let that shit out. And you don't let anybody tell you any otherwise. Yeah, so there's a lot more I could say, but I'm going to keep this video rather short. Shorter than most of my videos. But I will say this. Suddenly sales have boosted for a fucking product like this. And I took a drink and I could have swore it tasted like piss. Okay, so we've established that this will destroy someone's face. And it will make a damn spectacular, dramatic scene in the process. That's amazing. But, I mean, free publicity for this? Nah, I don't know about boosting it. Whoever's on the stock market's making some money off this shit, and that kid and the guy that hit him should definitely get some cuts. Anyways, Happy New Year, everybody.